yo, Eric, we were over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. I was just telling Ron, my God.
It's a Monday morning.
How you doing?
Today was a good. Last night I had a run at Target for my daughter, but man, I found this good shirt for $5. Got a highway on there.
Paranormal Highway.
I should put like Paranormal Highway. It was $5 shirt. Sometimes
Nice.
Target does pay off, right? $5 shirts, clearance. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
love
wrong
good
with that
prices.
at all, man.
Good prices. Now, today's topic. Actually, there's several different kind of topics, but the main topic of the story is secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Or is it fake? What do I mean by that? Skinwalker Ranch, well known throughout all communities. Everybody have heard of Skinwalker Ranch. But is it true of everything that we hear? Or is it exaggerated? You know, what is the story about Skinwalker Ranch? I do have a video I'm going to show. But I remember I watched this movie with Michael Keaton, not the Batman. He did play Batman, but not the Batman. The McDonald's story, and he plays that one of the guys that kind of stole McDonald's from the other two, kind of like stole and teach and kind of took over the whole franchise underneath.
Oh, I seen that movie. That's great.
But the reason you're like everybody's in the chat are like, why are you bringing up the McDonald's guy? But I remember a famous line. I don't know if it's said in real life. Maybe it has, maybe it's not. Where the two brothers, there's two brothers who own the original McDonald's. And he's like, can you live with yourself? Like, live with yourself doing this and all that? And Michael Keaton's part, I can't remember exactly how he said it. It was like, he basically calling them idiots. Like, you guys are idiots. It wasn't about how fast you can make these burgers and cheeseburgers to the people. What you had was the name. The name McDonald's is what sold McDonald's. You had the name. Why I bring this up here? Skinwalker Ranch. That name automatically makes somebody in these fields already technically, I hate to say it, wet their pants in a way because the name, Skinwalker Ranch. Everything you can do with that name. It's kind of like Lucky, like the Amityville Horror House. That name. Amityville Horror. You just had that name. You know, what if that ranch was called Wiener Creek Ranch? Wiener Creek Ranch. And the exact same stuff happened there on
So
the
I feel
Ranch.
Paranormal Highway. When I hear Paranormal Highway, I get excited.
Highway. Would that have the same effect? But the name, Skinwalker Ranch. And I'm not saying it's not real. Everything there is real or not. And why he's bringing this up? Because, you know, myself, Anthony, we did a kind of a video together of like Jerry Corbell in one of the, because I was watching a UFO documentary and they went to the area of Skinwalker Ranch in the middle of the documentary. Here's Corbell talking about the things they all seen there. And then I'm like thinking to myself, is this really real now? And listen, people in the chat, it's healthy to re-look at old cases, old stories, and it's all right to change your mind if you think something at one time was real or not real. After you're doing your research, you should check a story out every year if you want. It's all right. Don't ever feel like, well, I said yes 2 years ago. I can't say no now because I actually learned the truth. If you learn something new that caused you to double think why you believed in the first place, that's fine. That's researching. That's what honest people do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video, and it's called The Mystery of Utah's Skinwalker Ranch. And then I'll pause it here and there where I feel like I want to question Ron and Anthony on it.
512 acres in the Utah Basin. Skinwalker Ranch is. It's massive. It's
It's
not
massive.
no little. It's not no little 1, 2, 3, 5 acre ranch. It's 512 acres of property to cover. Gigantic.
Yeah. And I'll be honest to be told, listen, I've never been there. I never even stepped within. I drove through Utah before, going back from East Coast to
They
the
won't
West
let
Coast.
you on Skinwalker Ranch. You can get on Blind.
You can't get on, but
You can
I
get
mean,
on
I've
Blind
never
Frog
been-
Ranch, which is adjacent to it. I know Akashi Chris and Alien Girl and all of them were on there. Lynn, they were all there with Blind Frog. The property is really cool, but
Yeah.
I would have to go investigate myself to
Yeah.
believe the
Yeah,
phenomenon.
I'm
you
not.
know?
Hey, the property could be the most awesome property in the world, but it, like you said, it doesn't guarantee all
Right.
because it's all that. It's all that. It's everything else.
Didn't the CIA investigate there for a long time, allegedly on
That's what they
Skinwalker?
say, but it's hard to know, right?
I know.
You and I, we've never been there. I mean, we never seen these people there. It could be all speculation. It could be all lies. Listen, it sells documentaries.
Another Area
sells books.
51.
Right. Could be.
So here
That's
we go.
what I always believe it is.
From UFO sightings to cattle mutilations, a ranch in the Uinta Basin has been home to numerous bizarre and terrifying events, and it's now the subject of its own TV series on the History Channel.
Yeah, well, tonight, News Specialist Andrew Adams has his own exclusive look inside the mysterious Skinwalker Ranch after a visit that proved to be a little out of this world.
It moves in quietly, and it looms over every empty space.
You get that sense that you shouldn't be here.
The dread that fills Skinwalker Ranch can be practically
Hold on, I'm going to continue a second. But I always love it where everybody always says you can feel something here. That's almost like every show you ever watch, every investigation, everybody always walks in and says you can feel there's something different here. You can feel the cold, and you wonder. And I always wonder, is that just your head doing that just because it's going to be creepy? I'm always curious. Like
a change in the atmosphere and all of that stuff.
yeah, when people say you can feel the atmosphere change, I'm not saying they're right or
Yeah,
wrong,
Larry,
but
because it happened to both Ron and I at the same time, and we didn't say nothing to each other. And then I responded, I'm like, man, did you feel that? He's like, oh, I got chicken skin all down my neck. Like it happened to us at the same exact time. So
okay.
in certain situations, I'm going to say yes, it's very real.
Yeah, and I'm not saying nobody has that real true experience, but I just wonder if some people think about it so much that they're causing themselves saying feels colder. Well, yeah, you're walking into a building now. It's dark, 3:00 in the morning. But I'm just saying.
Like freaking themselves out, in other
Oh,
words.
Ron. Okay.
Here's, I'm sorry, I always mute myself. The thing I have with this is like this guy right here, Tom Whittington or something like that. Think about it. You're Brandon. You're the guy that owns the place, right? You're liable and everything. So they believe this guy's getting these things on his head from being in that place. And you're going to continue to let him keep going out there on these investigations like that? They're saying it's linked. They believe it's linked to this place that every time they dig or he talks about it, his head, he got this thing growing in. And you're going to just keep letting them go out there, not going to tell them stay away from the investigations. I don't think so. I think he's much smarter businessman than that, Brandon.
Let's see what he says.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says.
Indescribable.
and it's usually only the beginning of something worse.
Poltergeist type stuff, UFO sightings, cattle mutilations. I had a mysterious bump that started to form on my head pretty rapidly. And over the course of a few days,
Now, first of all, people, listen, he's out in Utah. There's a lot of bugs you could get bit, and bumps come up very fastly. So that's not automatically think that's paranormal. I've been in the mountains and got bit by something, and you'd be surprised how something fast swells up. It doesn't exactly mean because you're in a haunted area or speak. I'm just saying that just all because that happened, that does not mean, especially when you're in an area where you're surrounded by different kind of bugs.
Valid point.
Just want to say that.
a scalp completely separated from my skull.
How would you know that?
For
Where's
decades,
the X-ray
locals
on
thought
that?
the land was cursed.
a shapeshifter. It's a demonic being that can take on the shape of many different animals or the form of a human.
Now, I do want to say about shapeshifters. Now, there is stories with the American Indians or around the world that have stories about shapeshifters.
That's the Skinwalker in general.
Skinwalker. And so I do believe there's some story into that. Now, it doesn't of course they call it Skinwalker Ranch because the Native Americans roots that are all there, so I do believe there are truths into skin shapers, but that doesn't automatically mean that's what's going on in your place. It's like sometimes somebody finds a little nugget about your area. Oh, I'm gonna bounce.
And they run with the story.
Everything. And like I said, they had the freaking name Skinwalker Ranch, man. I wish I called my house Skinwalker Ranch to say it was haunted. I wonder if everybody was driving out in front of my house and wanted to come in and pay me like $1,000 to investigate it. We got to try that experiment sometime. Like we'll go to Ron's house or Anthony. We'll name it something and say it was haunted and see how many people. But we got to find that name that it just triggers everybody to want to go there. That name. Find that name. Hound dog.
And so really that's the legend of the Skinwalker.
Hey, we're coming in. Thanks for the heads up.
You got it. See ya.
Today, a new owner oversees the property. And he's hoping to find answers that are grounded in science.
Learning that Skinwalker Ranch was involved with a black budget Pentagon-funded study into not only the UFO phenomena, but other high strangeness was very interesting to me.
Real quick, Ron, is there any facts to back him up that government funded this thing?
They did.
They
gave Robert. They were paying Robert Bigelow when he owned the ranch big money to investigate there. He had a contract with the military, Bob Bigelow, to have them investigate Skinwalker Ranch.
I think it was, matter of fact, you remember that whole thing about Elizondo? We're getting $20 million for ATIP and all that. No, that's what OSAP was going with Skinwalker Ranch, and that's where the $20 million was going to Bigelow. And Bigelow got out of everything because they stiffed them on $10 million.
But how do we really know that? I mean, do people see the contract signed, the transition go across? I mean,
you follow the money, Eric. You follow the money. It leads you right to where it got spent. There's always a paper trail. You got to know how to dig.
Here's the issue with it is that with government contracts, depending on how they label the contract, like if this is a top secret program or very classified, you're not going to find that publicly like that. And with being that Robert Bigelow Aerospace was an outside company, there's no FOIA there. FOIA gets eliminated with that. I mean, I think there's still ways to try to find something. I think there is it for a while. I'll try to look for it now while you're doing this.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not saying he did not get funded, but you hear that they were funded. Like, well, how do we know who did the research on that they really did get funded? I mean, could be a big lie in my mind, unless somebody proves to me that they were funded. Let's see what else they say.
Supposedly the site of more paranormal activity and high strangeness than anything else being reported in the country at the time. And over 4 years, we have recorded and documented phenomena that really defies all natural explanation. It could truly be, the greatest science project of our time.
I hear that word again. They have film proof. Where is it? Everybody has this film and proof, but where is it? How come I can't type in his name and says, where is the proof that he said he was talking about? What? I have to watch the TV show and watch the ads and commercials so they can make all the money for the networks?
Yeah. But look at Green Street. Stephen Greenstreet went there. He was invited. He was that reporter for the New York Post. he stood at night. I don't know what you think you're going to see in one night, but when he was out there, they showed him some of their most compelling evidence. And they showed him that thing where there was that little light, like in the forest, and two little things. Like, how many times have we seen on that show UEP and they're looking up in the sky and they show something up in the sky? Why didn't they show any of that? Why wasn't those one of those heavy-duty cameras that are better than some telescopes? Why didn't they ever zoom in and show us that? Like that. They only show us the person looking up at it. I don't know.
I found exactly what you're talking about, Ron. That the New York Times put out this story in December of last year about ATIP, the Pentagon UFO study. NAP explained, and this sort of conflated some of the facts. The $22 million that alleged funded ATIP actually went to OSAP program, basically funded Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies that funded the study of Skinwalker Ranch and founded a much broader discussion, much broader than UFOs, what we call paranormal activity. So it's right there in the New York Times article.
Oh,
if the New York Times found it.
And then this is the thing then. This is my thing. This is just my opinion. Because they're funded from the government, which is our tax dollar, everything they find should be shown to us because we paid for it.
I'm sure you can get it, but you're going to have to put in some kind of request. And like Ron was saying, Bigelow Aerospace is a private company. Even though they had a government contract, they're still a private company. So they're not under the FOIA.
Yeah, because for that, we could find out Lockheed, Skunk Works,
Right.
all that stuff.
So you're
That's
gonna
why
have
they
to
use
figure
all
out.
those.
If he funded it privately through his company, so be it. He owns it. But using government money, that's our tax dollar, then technically we all own it. And we should all
Not
be able to see it.
not necessarily, Eric, because like look at companies like Blackwater. They're not government agencies, but they're government contractors, and they fall underneath the government umbrella.
Yeah. If they're contracted by the government, then technically they're paid by the government. Then
Right.
yes. They
It's the
should
same
be,
thing
they
with
should
the
have to show
Bigelow
it.
Aerospace Company when they were studying Skinwalker Ranch. He was under that government umbrella. So
I'm talking about like if a McDonald's owns it and they have no government funding, no
That's a
nothing, no
different
contract
story,
with the
though.
government, then they could do whatever they want with it. But as soon as you're contracted with the government somehow with money coming in somewhere,
nothing you could do
then-
about it.
I know it's
Yeah, they could pass a law. I believe that.
They
I
could.
believe they should pass a friggin' law that, like an amendment to the FOIA Act or something, where that, like, if a private company does business with the government, we should be able to FOIA them. If they have to limit it, whatever, but just something, but not where they can hide under the private corporation.
Exactly. But for right
know what I
now,
mean?
they hide under they hide under that government umbrella where they're protected. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
Danny,
what-
they wouldn't invest so much cash into investigate nothing. I know. There's a main reason. If you're going to donate, you're going to
well,
give that much money. There's
Eric,
a real reason why.
Eric, you'd be surprised when they want to hide money. They'll dump it anywhere they can get access to it.
Yep.
You know, maybe Bigelow made a deal with them, like, "Hey, look, dump your $22 million here, and I'll split it down the middle with you." You know, you really never know what their actual motives are.
Yeah.
You know?
And Kat, you're correct. Government uses these private contracts as a loophole.
Yep, exactly.
Law
my
to
point.
change will never pass. I know. There's so many loopholes in all this kind of stuff that the only people that get screwed is us because we're the one that's paying our tax dollars. And for us to find out the true information, we got to watch a History Channel. We got to watch the Travel Channel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got to watch Discovery Plus.
Is this the
Get our
biggest
truth.
discovery in history? We'll let you know right after this break, this commercial break.
I know.
Right after
I
these
know.
words with Cosmic
It's-
Neighbors.
Well, let's see what else they have to say here.
Brandon Fugel now employs a team of scientists, and they found when it comes to radio frequencies, the ranch has a peculiar pulse.
So we might think of this as a range across the radio dial. And here it's as if several stations all at once became very loud.
Spikes in radiation have been equally transient. And his cameras and sensors
monitor the grounds 24/7. A wide range of theories has surfaced, including unseen energy sources,
Interdimensional phenomena, precognitive, non-human intelligence.
How does he
Pause
know
for a
it's
second.
interdimensional or parallel dimensional interruptions? What
Ron.
evidence does he have? Where's the data that backs the science up on that?
Exactly. And Ron, you're like my really true IT kind of guy. When they talked about the frequency there, I mean, do you know? Have you studied anything about Skinwalker? Like, is there a frequency difference between other areas?
Here's the thing. So when you see that on TV, right, on that screen, you see those graphs and that thing when they're saying about the frequency 1.6 kilohertz and all that. That's something probably called SDR sharp. It's called SDR radio, software defined radio, right? I use that. I have a USB dongle for that. I love doing that. That could be anything, that 1.6. You know what I can do with that? We could do a test someday. I'll do it live on your show. I'll run SDR radio and I'll take one of my handheld walkie-talkies that, as long as it has an RF signal, and go like this, hit the button, and you'll start seeing spikes. I could hold it down, it'll go crazy. Then I could just let it alone. Goes back to the waterfall. That's what it's called, the waterfall, when it comes down like that. So who knows? I mean, is it something? Possibility, yeah. But that signal could be anything. That could be anything.
But so something like that can't technically happen anywhere, not just there.
Absolutely. I
That's
did it here in my living room.
That's what I want to know.
I did it in my living
And not
room.
only that, that light that you seen come out of the ground like that he said, oh, parallel dimension, another universe. When you have an earthquake or the tectonic plate shift or there's a change in atmospheric anomaly, you could get that light that travels, through the ground like that.
Oh, yeah,
You
we
have
have
light that travels
ground light
through the
that
ground
goes
like
up.
that. Right.
Mhm.
So there's all different things that can cause that. He without definitive data, he can't tell us.
You
there's
said
a
it
parallel
perfectly.
dimension.
Eric, you said it perfectly Anthony, you said it perfect right in the beginning. When you make a claim like that, where is the data? That sounds like a call bell.
Where's the data?
Show me. Shoot them down has absolutely no proof. There's nothing out there.
I know what the data is. You gotta watch the History Channel.
Watch season 5.
Season 5, episode 3. Get your data.
But really, if you want to shut everybody up that keeps saying, all right, show me the proof. Where's the proof? Where's the data? If you got the evidence to back it up, show it to us already. You know what I mean? Shut me up. Put your money where your mouth is. Show it to me.
Exactly.
What do you think? I don't want it to be a parallel dimension. I don't want it to be aliens or another
want it to be
life form. I want it to be those things, but prove it to me. Don't try to sell me
You know what
a
would
theory.
be different? Where I would respect it more? If they would actually do some shows and do it live. When they're doing their testing, when they had the rabbi come in and do the music, and it's getting cold. Let's not see it after the editing room hits it. Let's do some shows live and let's see that happen live. Then maybe I'll go, you know what I mean? Because when it gets to the editing room, you don't know what's real and what's not. Just because they call it reality show doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah. What is Suzanne A wrote? For 32 hertz, government won't allow signed musicians to play at that frequency. History Channel is great, Eric. I'm not putting down the History Channel, but it just seems like if they're all this information that they really want to show the world, it's on a TV show. Something that's important that could change the way we think and can live, the way we think of the future. We're gonna find that out on a TV series. Could be. You know what's funny? And I'm going to continue this video for a second. I think this is funny. Maybe nobody else does. I've been in every community there is. I hang out in the Bigfoot community, UFO community. I hang out in the paranormal community, even the Mandela Effect community. And one of the same things that everybody's on percentage, not a high percentage, nobody believes Hollywood. That's does. I mean, every community. Now, I'm not saying you do or not. I'm saying most everybody all says they don't believe in Hollywood, right? They don't believe in Hollywood. They think, they only show you what they want you to think. But the UFO community, not you two, but a lot of people love Jeremy Corbell. But the guy is Hollywood, born and raised LA, silver spoon in his mouth. do documentaries. Here you got a Hollywood guy saying he's representing UFO community, but everybody community says they don't want to believe in Hollywood, but you're letting a Hollywood guy represent them. So that's
true.
Funny.
Eric, you play that. This is one of the antennas I use for an SDR. What I'm going to do is real quick. I'm going to try to find that dongle. And if I can't promise it. If I can get it set real quick, we could do a live test and I'll show you.
You find
and
it,
Eric.
I'll continue the video.
Starting to feel like an intelligence was.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
I just wanted to address Danny Stanton. Yes, Utah is not a boundary between tectonic plates. However, Utah is indirectly caused by interactions with the Pacific plate along the plate margin on the west coast of the United States, right? And as a fault, there's a break in the Earth's crust along which the movement in the crust on the Pacific plate can cause earthquakes in Utah, and you still will get the same effect. The rare earth lights coming through, it will cause the same effect. But you are right. There are no tectonic plate shifts on the Utah. It's the Pacific plates that move along.
Awesome information.
Toying with us when our electronics began to malfunction.
What does it say?
Calibration failed, that it was too strong to actually calibrate.
At the time our drone encountered an unexpected interference.
I don't know what that is or if it has any relationship to what's happened with your drone.
The RF sensors started going crazy.
Well, this is a recording I just made 30 seconds ago.
When a contrail shadow began to appear in the sky.
Look at below it. There's like a dark...
Well, it's not as dark now.
No, it's not as now.
Everyone scrambled inside to see what the cameras caught.
Something moves through there.
It was barely a blip.
Right here. Yeah. Wonder what that guy is.
And yet it couldn't have been a bigger deal.
There.
Oh my gosh.
There it is. See it?
Yeah.
The slender, cigar-shaped object didn't appear to fly like a bird or plane.
That's exactly when we were recording all the other anomalies, if I'm not mistaken.
Any of those anomalies could have had perfectly natural explanation.
Thank you.
You guys look at photos and stuff. I mean,
I've been down that rabbit hole. I filmed that on more than one occasion. Like it was just about to say, it could be a perfectly natural explanation. Perfectly natural. But yet they jumped all over it because they were live on TV.
Yeah. That's the part of the exaggeration that comes in play. Like they got to play that part. Like this could be something, and you're right, it could be something, but it could be nothing too.
Those anomalies could have had perfectly natural explanations, but the timing of all of them together seemed uncanny.
This is so weird.
You've never heard it beep like this?
This is the second drone that can't connect in this very area.
The next time our drone failed to launch, near the epicenter of the ranch's activity.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Will you please allow us to fly the drone?
It literally took a prayer. For the
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's phony as hell. Oh, we took a prayer and then it went up. So now we're mixing God and Jesus and religion into
science.
This area. I'm not. Hey,
never mind the Wi-Fi was out, right?
yeah. I'm sure the Wi-Fi out there. I'm sure it's really spotty because it's out almost the middle of nowhere, right? But when they say prayer, I'm sitting there like, okay, let's bring in some religion now. There was something that Brown Dwarf said something earlier. It was kind of interesting. If Akashi and Anonymous Rex them had experience and collected data from the Blind Frog, I would surmise that Skinwalker has similar, if not the same, activities.
Yeah, it's the same property. That's what I was saying earlier, Brown Dwarf. Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch, they sit back to back with each other.
There's
so
a famous
if anything is happening on Skinwalker, it's going to happen on Blind Frog Ranch, and
there's a third one too. There's a famous three. Skinwalker, Frog, and there's another one.
Yeah, there's an Indian reservation there too that it sits on. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, it's. But there's only a little bit left here.
Drone to start working.
Wow. I said it out loud and watching.
Until all questions are answered.
Are we alone in the universe?
The mystery of the ranch is very much alive.
You really have to see it and experience it to believe it.
And ranch regulars also talk about a hitchhiker effect where something follows visitors home.
Now, I wonder, I'm not an expert, but I've never tried. I wonder what it would take to try to file some kind of form, trying to get some kind of government funding saying, you know, we want funding because we're going to be looking into, I don't know, a UFO in a certain area or something. I mean, I've never tried before.
I
but
think you would have to bring like definitive evidence up to them first, or maybe the government was looking to experiment on the paranormal, and the guy was like, you know, Blind Frog Ranch is the spot to be. It's all about who you know, too, Eric. Right? Like Bob Bigelow, when he originally owned it, he knew everybody in the government, and he knew how to get funding because he had the aerospace company. So you know how those things work, bro.
yeah, and
I can't find it.
A lot of it is who you know too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, they can push your thing forward.
But dude, if Fugel said to us, "Listen, I'll let you guys come, but you're gonna camp out on the grounds in a tent. I'll let you stay out there for 2 weeks, and then we'll dive into your data." I would do that in a heartbeat.
So Ron, you were gone. I was just talking to Anthony. Like, I wonder how hard or easy it is to file trying to get some kind of funding from the government of, I don't know, one of our projects. We said UFO sighting, paranormal sighting, or Bigfoot or something.
Would they fund that one? Nah, right?
With them, it's all who you know, man. That's all that is.
Right?
It's the big boys club. Because when you look at it, like with Harry Reid, him and Bigelow are friends and all that. And guess what? Bigelow and Fugel, friends.
Yeah, see, that's what I was
Like
saying,
that.
bro.
It's all the big boys club. That's it. You know? We get the only way you would get something if there was something very public happen and the names came up and they felt forced to have to do something. Other than that, nah.
But
well, they'll
let's
laugh.
break it down now. Let's break it down. So Ron, what's your opinion, your photo thoughts of everything you have heard and seen and learned about Skinwalker Ranch? Without of course, we all of us never actually been there, so we're just basing everything off what we've seen. You think there's something really going on there by any chance?
I do, because when they talk about the Utes and everything, the tribes and all that, and the curse that they put on the land, so called, right? I think there is stuff going on there, but of course, there's a lot of stuff that's being sensationalized and all that to sell the show and everything. Because I still go back to, when they're talking about UAPs. UAP, they're all looking up, holy cow. The camera goes for maybe 2 seconds, shows you a little dot. Then the rest of the time, they're focusing on them looking at the UAPs. Like, why not show us something? And their biggest evidence is what they show Green Street, the lights glowing. I do think there is probably some paranormal stuff going on there or whatever, but with these guys, I mean, it's just, they're selling a show.
Ron, you were looking for your thing, and I want to get your thoughts on this part about them looking at a screen. You're kind of reminding me of the scene about the UAP. I want to get your opinion on it.
Thing moves through there.
It was barely a blip.
Right here. Yeah. Wonder what that guy is.
And yet it couldn't have been a bigger deal.
There.
Oh my gosh.
There it is. See it?
Yeah.
The slender, cigar-shaped object didn't appear to fly like a bird or plane.
That's exactly when we were recording all the other anomalies, if I'm not mistaken.
Any of those anomalies could have had perfectly natural explanations.
So what you can see on there with that black cigar flying up, did they really catch something, Ron?
Who knows what that is? I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it could be somebody testing one of those rockets like they
didn't
do.
Appear to fly like a bird or plane.
But he was very excited.
But you know what I'm saying? When they were testing rockets, sending them up into the air to try to get data? What if somebody else is doing that on another part of that ranch or the other ranch?
Take this into consideration too, Eric. A little blip showed up on the screen, and just at that time, Fox 5 just happened to be in their bunkhouse filming them live for that story too. So of course he's gonna make it like what's going on. He's live on TV. He's live on Fox News while that anomaly popped in.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
So
Let me
data
phrase it
behind
this way. Okay, so we all know this area that they're in. Like Anthony, you're saying before the show, how big the ranch is, how
512
huge
acres.
this area is. So, like for example, if I go out and look for UFOs, you know, I'm by an airport and all that. So there's a lot of stuff that's in the air out there where they're at. You know, it's easier to
Not a lot of air
spot
traffic.
like dots, but you know what I mean, because there's less traffic. You got clearer skies. You got not a lot of interruptions. So it might not be they get the most UFO sightings in that area. It's just they have more clear skies and more land, less people.
Right. No, they have captured some really strange anomalies up there in the sky at night when they were testing those rockets. Remember that time, Ron, when they saw those weird anomalies in the sky?
Yeah.
That was like legit. They legitimately seen some strange unidentified flying objects in the sky. Definitely weren't satellites or drones or anything like that. I don't know what they were because they never give you the data behind the sighting. So, you know, it just
But
goes down to the
technically, you get
basic
that
term
anywhere.
UFO. It's unidentified.
But you can almost get that everywhere on this planet. It doesn't have to be like necessary, mostly at that Utah area.
No, but
yeah.
But here's the thing: Brandon Fugel kind of reneged when he started this. He said when they get data, because this belongs to the world, he's gonna dump it like an open source and dump it so
And when?
everybody can see. He hasn't done any of that.
Nothing. He hasn't gotten anything.
And he has an excuse. He reneged totally on that, and nobody calls him out on it. I went at it, went him on Twitter, saw other people, and he always has some excuse, some reason why not. Like some contract or something. No, I don't want to hear about nothing with History Channel. You're the one that said we're doing this, and that's all it's about, the data.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, that's going to ask the same question.
Oh, the History
Ron
Channel
did
now
with
owns the
Anthony.
most important data in the world? Yeah, okay.
So let's do with Anthony now. So Anthony, everything you've seen on reports, articles, TV, because you know we've never been there physically. What's your overall thing on Skinwalker Ranch? What do you think?
I think it's a global phenomenon, all right? I don't think it's just going on at Skinwalker Ranch. I think it goes on globally. Paranormal, UFOs, right place, right time kind of thing. And they're studying 512 acres. That's gigantic. That's bigger than Staten Island where I live, right? So that's like studying Staten Island times 6, times 10 even. You know what I mean? So think about how many UFOs, unidentified objects they're going to see, or how many paranormal things are going to happen on that property. It's massive. I think it's a global event that's happening. I think that Skinwalker Ranch is having the same anomalies that happen worldwide. You know what I mean? And they're just catching what they're catching there, and they're making it seem like, oh, it's Skinwalker Ranch. But really, you're talking about 512 acres of property anomalies are happening on. You know what I'm saying? If you go to Blind Frog Ranch, I'm sure they have things going on there too. Or if you go to the Indian reservation over there, I'm sure they got things going on over there too. You know?
Now, mind you, they have literally hundreds of cameras, super high definition cameras all throughout that ranch that they claim are recording 24/7. Where is it? Where's the stuff? Where's all this that's going on crazy over there? Where is it?
Bingo. Where is it?
But I do agree with Angel Wing. She said everything is nuts. It's kicking up. Yeah, everything is kicking up. There have been a lot more UFO sightings, a lot more paranormal things going on. I mean, for some reason, things are kicking up right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe that more people are looking up now since the military came out and said UAPs are real and all of that. I don't know.
Yeah, because everybody has just when you're walking down the street, just stop everything and just look straight. And what you're going to see is everybody walk with their face in their phone.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think nothing like she's saying something about the earthquakes now. It's all the time. All the time. There's a heavy one, then we'll get, and it stinks because the whole bad thing out of that is they said hundreds of people probably died. That stinks, man.
Yeah, keep your prayers for Turkey, man. They're going through it really tough right now.
It happens everywhere. That's the earth,
Now, my opinion is, first of all, they're lucky. They got the best name in the world, Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, it sells
You
itself.
love that name, huh?
It sells itself, right? Do I believe they've seen UFOs? Of course, everybody's seen UFOs around the world. It's all around the world. It's more clear out there. It's more, it's like a city guy going from the city that's used to all that sound in the city and going out to the country, and you sing these sounds, you're hearing these new sounds for the first time, the clearing skies. Like, I know people from the city never been in the mountains. They go to the mountains like, oh my God, I've never seen that many stars. Look at those dots, flying things. They've seen objects that they never recognized before because they were anywhere near cities. You got airports.
Pollution.
So you're always used to seeing kind of lights. They go out in the country for the first time, like that. What they might be a true UFO because they're not
inspiring, man.
When
we were up at Cambian's house, man.
Now,
stars are beautiful up there, man.
If I had the opportunity to go out there, I'm more interested in the Native American stories, the actual skinwalkers, the shapeshifters, more than the UFOs and all that, because we know that can happen anywhere. But there's not every land has been populated by Native Americans with their history and stories that go on there. I'd be more interested in hearing about the shape shifting. You know what I mean? I would give a damn interviewing the new owner of Skinwalker Ranch. I'd rather interview the Native Americans with the history, the stories of the skinwalkers, the true skinwalkers of the place. That's what I'm interested in.
I wonder if we can make an appointment to go on a reservation and have a conversation with the elders about that and film. I wonder if they would allow that. We should see if we can get that done.
That
would be amazing.
I would be more interested in.
Hell yeah.
I'd be off the hook. Because they have the stories,
that's exactly what I was saying. Too much information.
Skinwalker Ranch is next to Blue Avion Castle.
Blue Avion Castle.
Speaking of Long Island Bigfoot, a little further back in the chat, he said that like you and I need to get our butts out there this week. But I agree because you know what I got going on.
Whenever you're ready.
Pick a day. Let's go.
I got the doctors on the 9th. Anytime after, I'm free.
When is the 9th?
Thursday.
I don't care. Whatever day you want to go. Let's go.
Let me know and we'll set it up.
The only thing is, I got the shows on Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. at night. I don't need to be home at 4 in the afternoon to get ready.
I got my show Wednesday afternoon.
So
Friday, Saturday, whatever day he wants to go. And too much information. At the beginning of the show, I said the same thing. I think they have magnetic anomalies, and that's about it. And I agree. I think it's just regular magnetic and atmospheric anomalies coming from the Earth.
I wouldn't be surprised they have something going on underneath there, and there's just a military base somewhere that connects and all that stuff. We'd be surprised what's around,
Long Island says, text me after the show. I'm free most of the week.
All right, Mike, good.
Hi, bro. But I really wanted to. I'm still going to look for it because I had it on my recent trip. So it's stuffed in a bag somewhere. But when I get that, I'll show you. I'll do an example. I'll look for the walkie-talkies too. And we'll
you had explained that to me once before to me too, though, Ron. Like you had explained that to me too when we went and did the paranormal investigation with the radios. How you can make interference on the cameras and everything go with the walkie-talkies and stuff like that, and the CBs. Yeah.
Yep.
Very easy to cause that interference.
That's why the SEC, like with ham radio, right? Like a transmitter and a receiver. That's why they want people to get a ham radio license at minimum, because there's a lot of frequencies you're not allowed to transmit on that are blocked. You know what I mean? You may have a radio that shouldn't have access to these frequencies, but older ones do, whatever crystal they have in it. And if you transmit, you could transmit on other frequencies, but there's an easy way to cause interference, because I was doing research and I said, oh, let me test this. And when I seen what I was able to do, I got scared. I stopped it because I'm like, I don't want the SEC, them zoning in, because they find you. I'm like, I didn't do that. But all it was doing was that, what you see on Skinwalker. And if I dial in a frequency, all I got to do is transmit on that. And guess what? It's going to go wham, wham, wham.
True.
And I noticed something that was funny. And again, it's editing, so you don't know. But if you notice, I always talk about that. When Travis is gone, you never hear about that. As soon as Travis is back, you hear they start showing that frequency thing again. Like that. I don't know. But it's just, I got to be 50-50 on that because I know that can be done easily. That's it. But they're making it out that 1.6 frequency or whatever it is, oh, that's got to be coming from.
What do you guys think of this casual conversation with GNA? I feel they had more evidence in the beginning of the investigation of the ranch than they do now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, like
They
remember
were
that
telling
guy?
you more in the beginning. Now you get little drips and drabs of things. Like, oh, look, there's a blip on the screen. They show you that, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's
You
filler
hear nothing
time.
else
That's
about it.
why.
Yeah.
It's filler time. But remember the guy with his phone, right? That, his phone's going crazy and his screen is cracked, right? Now the next season, they show him again. He still has that same phone with the same cracks. Like you think he would buy a new phone, right? That starts making me think when he goes on 3 seasons with that same phone, that phone probably has things wrong with it. So that's why they keep it around.
Yeah.
You understand? Because who wouldn't get their screen fixed the way his was shattered like that? And remember, they film over the summer. So it's not like they filmed those 3 seasons in one shot. Those were filmed over each year. But he still has that same phone, same cracked screen. Nah.
I remember you told me that really bothered you.
What I do understand is Pam Smith, $3. Thank you so much.
Pam.
That was awesome. Guys, I gotta get something off my chest. And this is totally different. This has nothing to do with Skinwalker Ranch. This is not calling out no other channel. I'm calling out a freaking organization. I say when you build community, one of the best way to build communities, not just on YouTube. YouTube's fine, all that. It's free, it's fun. Everybody can join in. I'm talking about like getting together like at cons, at certain cons, right? That's where you get to really interact with people at cons. You know, one cons I always go every year is I love going to Emerald City Comic-Con. Love it, right? They got tickets, $42, $62. I mean, some prices for kids, $27. But for what you get at this con is very reasonable. Very reasonable. I go to every year. I love hanging out with these people. They're fun. They dress up. People there to have fun. I absolutely love it. Now, there's a Bigfoot con coming up in a place called Forks, Washington. Forks, Washington. That's Twilight Land. If anyone else know, that's where they didn't make the whole movie in Forks, but that's where they're supposed to be at. So they have a second annual. I'm like, all right, I want to go. It's in May. I like going to these cons, but this place got to get off their ass. I'm serious. I am not paying $98. Listen. Oh, it's for all 3 days. No. Listen, when I go to a con, 1 day's enough. 3 days, 2 days is too much for me. 1 day. I should be able to pay just for 1 day because $98. My wife's going to go. And guess what? Since it's in Forks, my daughter's going to go because that's Twilight Land. That's Twilight Land. There's Twilight stores now there. So we're talking after taxes. After taxes, that's probably like $350 after you pay all the taxes.
I know, it's
and all
crazy,
that.
dude. It's crazy.
And for me to go to Forks, it's about 2.5, 3 hours away because I got to drive up to the other side of the water, go all the way up to the corner, the most rainingest city in the United States. Listen, you want people to hear the stories of the Bigfoots, the UFOs, and paranormal stuff. But you can't outprice people. That's outpricing people. And then I got a hold of one person. Well, we got to pay this person and that person, and we want to we want just the real Bigfoot lovers up here. With that mind frame, you're never going to grow the community. Listen, I understand it costs a lot of money to bring people up. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Listen, movie theaters, you know where they make their money? They don't make their money off the movies itself. Most of that movies go to the theaters and goes to the studios themselves. They make their money by overpriced popcorn, overpriced soda. That's why I never complain. I never complain because I know that money is what keeps the theaters alive for me to go watch movies. That's where they should make their money. Make it off, have your shirts, have this, have that, because I was pricing it all up for me. $350 to get 3 tickets for my whole family. If I'm going to drive 3 hours up there, I'm more likely probably going to get a hotel because, after a whole day of walking,
You're talking a grand.
So I'm
for
probably
everything.
paying another $150 depending on
Gas,
have a lot of
toll,
hotels.
breakfast,
So you're
lunch,
talking
dinner.
So you're talking about what?
Talking
$500.
$1,000.
$500 right there. Gas, $60 to go back and forth, and all the food. And that's not even buying merchandise. Listen,
Hey, talking a grand, bro.
And of course, they didn't. I asked if I could be part of it. They don't want me to be part of it, because I'm not. I guess I'm not one of those. I'm not their type of person. They want just storytellers. Listen, I'm not paying that much money just to hear stories. If it was like $20 a ticket, $30, yes, I want to hear stories.
Well,
It's not like they're doing the light show
or something like that.
Agreed, Ron.
And nothing against the people that have speaking there, but the people that have speaking there are great storytellers. And I hate to say it, a lot of storytellers, they can stretch the truth because you're going to believe whatever they say because how they tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying you should not overprice people out because that's not growing the community. You're only keeping in, the hardcore people. Listen, everybody wants to learn. What makes a person hardcore, right? What? No offense to Anthony. What makes Anthony more important researching UFOs than, I don't know, Mike Johnson?
Nothing.
They're all important. You should all have the right to hear stories, to be there at a con and stuff. It's wrong to overprice it because one of the reasons that I've heard is they want to they just want their people there. Then you're not spreading the word.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. Am I wrong?
Not only that,
I
Eric,
have to
what
get off my
about
chest.
What about when you go to the UFO conferences? It's the same faces all the time. They never allow any fresh blood in there. Never. It's always the same stories, the same faces.
Yes.
It's
And Anthony,
crazy.
I saw half of those people at the Yakima conference, Bigfoot conference, but those tickets were only, I should have bought the VIP. The VIP got me nothing. But those were like $30. No big deal. But $98 for a person? Come on. Come on. I'm sorry I'm complaining, but it's just, that's not how you grow communities. That's not. It's, I don't know. So, and you know what? Are there any other, one thing I don't see a lot up here in Washington, seriously, I don't see a lot of UFO conferences. There's some Bigfoots, maybe minor paranormal, but they don't really have a lot of UFOs and paranormal conference up here in Washington. It's kind of strange, right? Because Washington is supposed to be one of the hot spots for UFOs, and they don't really have a lot of conference.
I wanted to set up our own conference. Invite. There's just so much that goes into it. You got to insure the property. You got to insure the venue. The people that you invite in, you got to fly in. You got to pay them. You got to set this up. Vendors. I mean, you need to have buku bucks to set that up, and then hope you're going to make whatever on the back end. It's crazy.
And the permit process, you got to get a permit. And part of the permit is how many people you're going to have coming. Like you said, what kind of insurance you're going to have for this many people? Where's the building? Is the building up to code?
Right.
There is.
The fire marshal come in and inspect and all of that stuff.
They
Crazy.
have a UFO fair in Pine Bush, New York, every year, and I decided to go last year. I even filmed it, and I was excited to go. And when I went up there, besides a couple of people walking around in outfits, they had a little tent that had Richard Dolan and a few other people talking. Everything else, it was just like a normal street fair, people selling necklaces. It was nothing UFO, really. It was just, it was a waste of gas, to be honest with you. I'll never go back there. And they have a UFO museum like that. And when you go in, and it has a couple of nice pictures, but you're not allowed to do anything. Like, you want to take pictures, they don't want you to.
Really?
Like what the hell you have here? Roswell, you got a real alien there?
What's to have in the museum? You can't take pictures with anything? I hate that, man.
It's corny. I was like, I felt like they oversold it because the person that makes their flyers did a great job. You think this was the best thing since sliced bread. And when you get up there, it took me 20 minutes before I seen the first thing that looked like an alien.
Look at this.
Okay, this is. I hope I have the right fare.
This is Long Island Bigfoot.
wow.
I like the Sasquatch Festival in Woodhull. It's $0 to attend. I enjoy the open forum and the option to spin. I spread my breed out as evenly as I could, my bread out easily as I could. See, that's the point. Even if they just charge $10 or something, they make their money back with the merchandise they have there. You get more people to come, and what happens? You have more people that they're not spending all that money on $90 tickets to buy shirts and stuff. Because a lot of times when you go to a concert, yes, I know a concert now is like $50 a shirt, but the reason you buy a shirt, it reminds you that you were there, right? That's where they make their money. That's all they got to do. $0. I bet you, Long Island Bigfoot. How many people would you say was there, in your opinion? Would you say 100 people, 1,000 people?
Now, a lot of people go to Whitehall.
You guys been there?
I haven't been there, but I'm familiar with the event.
Yeah, $0. That's like almost unheard of nowadays. And I wouldn't even mind they charge $5. That's reasonable. And then what does Brown Dwarf say here? Oh, it was packed. See? And I'm sure they made their money off the merchandise, which is fine. Like I said, I go to a movie theater. I don't bitch, complain. I'm buying a $12 popcorn box because I know it's what keeps the lights on for me to go enjoy.
Is this the first time they're doing it? Or is this the first time that they're charging that much?
No, it's not the first time they're doing it. I don't know if that's how much they charge.
Talk about the Bigfoot Festival I'm going to.
The one that you just brought up that you had the beef with about the pricing. Is that the
this
first
is their
time
second annual. This is their second one.
And was it like that last year, the pricing?
I didn't go to the one last year because I went to the Yakima instead.
Because next year, when this one's done, you'll find out how successful it was. Because if the price is lowered by half or whatever, you'll know that.
If I remember right, Ron, I can't remember the price, but I know it was high because I'm like, I gotta either Yakima's like 3 hours away, Forks is about 3 hours away. It was a lot cheaper, and I was able to get VIP according to the site, which VIP got me nothing extra because they say VIP, you get these awesome seats when you go in there. There's seats open everywhere, and there's nobody policing on where you can sit. So I'm like, all right, they made extra money off of me. That's fine.
Yeah, but the Forks, isn't that where there's vampires?
Yes,
Forks?
that's the famous. That's why my daughter wants to go. So I would have to buy her a $98 ticket.
That's absurd. I wanted to rent out the Raritan Center here in New Jersey, Ron, and do a UFO conference in the Raritan Center because I know the guy that owns the building. Could have rented out the Raritan Center. It's gigantic in there. They have car shows in there. And we could have had a nice conference there. But when I found out I need like $500,000 just to get it off the ground, I was like, how the hell am I going to do that?
Look at this. A couple of thousands by the end of the day. And I guarantee out of the 2,000 people, I'm sure they bought something there. $3, $5, and more. So that's probably where they made their money. And when they have vendors, sometimes, depending on the deal, sometimes you'll give the place, you pay the place to have a vending spot. So, so they make their money off having vendors there, having their own products. And that's how you grow and get the word out. So I'm not trying to bitch complain about the second annual folks. I just want them to hear. I wish they would hear this and learn and say, dude, if you lower our money, people might actually drive the Forks.
The next time you go to that conference at Whitehall, Mike, you go buy like 1,000 stickers for your show, and you go hand them out to everybody that you see there that you're a Bigfoot channel, man. Your subscribers will jump through the roof just handing out stickers with your show like that over there. Get to know the people that they're going to come watch your show. You get to meet each other. People love that kind of interaction. It's a great place to network.
And like what we do at the end of every show, at the end, I like to see what's going on with the other channels. So let's take a look. Let's go to Unidentified S4 channel first. Let's see what's going on, what's coming up. We've got Journey into the Unknown, Astral Travel. Holy cow. Wow, that's a heavy topic. I like that.
We are going to talk about astral travel, what it's all about.
That's a deep topic. That's a interesting.
And it's real. You really can astral travel in your sleep. It's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
You could be trained to do it. We're gonna take a deep dive into that on Wednesday. I've had it happen before. That's like when you're sleeping at night and you have a dream that you're flying and all things like that you enjoy. You can actually train your mind to do that when you sleep.
I travel to my refrigerator so many times a night, and I gotta get that exercise from me because that's a problem.
Me too. I gotta train myself to sleepwalk to my treadmill.
Yeah, I'm serious. I like float right to it,
Instead
but
of
I
my
did have one of
refrigerator.
those floating like experiences. Like it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I watched some British show on a murder case where this person learned the ability to do that, and they taught this other person. But the twist was when they went back to the bodies, they switched it on purpose. So one was here, one was here. I forgot what it was called, but it was pretty interesting. Let's go check out.
You see the two bodies that I have there in the thumbnail? When you astral travel, you're tethered. Your consciousness is actually tethered to your spirit or whatever moves. So it's really weird. We'll get into it Wednesday.
The Cosmic Neighbors got on the 8th at 4 p.m. Wednesday.
Which is 7 p.m. Eastern time, everybody.
A legend, Mr. Goodall.
But we know the West is the best. We always go with the West Coast.
East Coast is the Beast Coast, homie.
I know that's the hardest part.
Just let you know, there's gonna be a new rule that's implemented. If
we have to go naked,
that leave early from a show, there will be a fine cup. It will be $5 every time somebody just leaves the show. All right,
Eric, you're about $8,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
Listen. Okay, he does his at 7 o'clock. That's usually after dinner time. So my time, 4 o'clock, is like a lot of things goes on at 4 and 5. I mean, that's a hard heartbeat.
Yeah. Tell it to the choir. All right.
You got to start saying goodbye, no matter if we're talking or anything. We look and you're gone. We're like, where the hell did it go?
I got guests that emailed me. What happened to the guy, man? He just left.
In the private chat, I wrote that I did not want to interrupt.
Interrupt.
Wait. Next time, I prefer you to wait and interrupt and just say, "Hey guys," like
I'm
that.
out.
I'd rather you do that.
All right.
Bro,
listen,
like, where the hell did Eric go?
I respect Jim Goodall, and when he was in the middle of his story thing, I did not want to interrupt because I always felt that's rude to interrupt when somebody's in the middle of a story.
I love Jim. If you don't interrupt him, he won't stop. He knows this. Just like that. But I don't mean you just stop him, but you know when you're gonna leave. All right. So don't wait for him to start talking to cut out. I know your deal already, bro. Got you pegged. All right.
You know, right? How I when lottery, I was just showing respect to Jim. I didn't want to interrupt Jim.
It's all right.
It'd be like I telling this great, fantastic story, and Anthony goes, "Hey, I gotta go take a shit. I'll be back."
It was like 5 minutes later. We're like, where did Eric go? And then I look at the
beyond that.
I was like, oh, he left.
Beyond that, today was fun. Guys, whatever your thoughts on Skinwalker Ranch, please leave it in the comments. Tell us what you think. If you think everything that you heard is mostly true, that's fine. I respect everybody's opinions. If you think it's all a hoax, just tell us. Nobody's gonna, as long as you don't be rude to somebody else, tell us what you feel right in it.
There's nothing rude about speaking your mind and how you feel about something.
Yeah, speak your mind. Just do it in a nice manner. Just don't blast somebody else for having a different opinion of yours.
Right.
That's what makes the world go around. You know,
Leave
we
a
all have
comment in the
different
comment section. Let us know your thoughts.
Exactly. So beyond that, everybody have a good day, and we'll see you next time.
Talk to you later, Mike.
On the Paranormal Highway.